Hey, what's up guys? Kobe Cheese here, and bringing you a little bit of a different tutorial today. I'm going to actually show you how I record my video games and do all the editing and whatnot. I've been getting a lot of those questions over the last couple of months that I've been doing these videos, so instead of just answering everybody individually, I'm just going to do a little bit of a guide to show you how I do it in high quality and whatnot. So first thing you want to know is the two programs that I use is Fraps to do my recording and Sony Vegas to do all of the video editing and whatnot. So there's a couple different ways to get these programs. You can go to fraps.com for Fraps, SonyCreativeSoftware.com to get Sony Vegas. Now, not everyone can shill out, a couple $100s for all these programs. There are ways to get them for free, but this is not a pirating video, so I'm not going to show you how to do that. If you want to do that, then you can figure that out on your own. Anyhow, here is Fraps right here. Let me just kind of pull mine up. And basically, what you're going to need to know about Fraps is a lot of people will use this and they'll get a lot of lag when they're recording their games. This could be because of several reasons, but the main one is because you're actually recording the videos to the same hard drive that your game is installed in. And if you're doing that, it is going to lag you. Even if you have a really fast computer, which I do, I record in 1080p. And so I've actually went out and I bought a second hard drive, a second internal hard drive just for recording Fraps games. And I think you can do this with a USB drive. It might not be as fast though because of the write speed to a USB. But anyways, my recommendation is to go out and get a second hard drive and set the directory to save your files in to that second hard drive. So you can actually see I've got this hard drive right here dedicated solely for Fraps footage. And that's all I record in here. It actually, Fraps will record very, very, very large file sizes, especially if you're doing everything in 1080p. I actually record everything in 30 frames per second. You can record in higher, but it will take up more juice to do that. And the only reason you really want to go more than 30 is if you were going to do a lot of slow down scenes. But that's, I don't do a whole lot. I do more speeding up than I do slowing down. I do full size. If you don't have a second hard drive, then you may want to lower your resolution that you're recording in, or you may want to do half size. You just want to look at the quality and see how you'd like to do it. You can also check these options here for record. You can record your microphone. You can also record the sound that's coming from your computer as well. So you have those options. Anyways, that's Fraps, and that's what you do to reduce the lag is basically get a second hard drive. Now let's go ahead and look at there is one other way to record, and you can do that via owned.tv or one of the other live stream or something like that actually records videos. It's going to be a lot lower quality, and it's more for just a live audience type thing. And I do that sometimes when I'm streaming. But if you're wanting to do the high quality videos that I do, then you're going to want to get that Fraps. So let's go ahead and move on to Sony Vegas. Okay, so I've got Sony Vegas pulled up here, but before I start going into the features of this and how I like to use it, let me just talk to you real quick about organizing your media files that you're recording via Fraps. Let me just go in here. Okay, so every time I record a game of League of Legends, for instance, now obviously this works with any game, but it's gonna split your files up into many different little files because each file can only be around 4 gigs each, and so since one game could be a certain length long, well, basically, since I'm recording in 1080p, I get about a minute and a half of footage per 4 gigs. So obviously, it's going to split up into this many files. So what I'll do is I'll take after each game, I have it recording into this one main file here. I'll cut all those files, and then I've got my folder stored, and I've got different folders. And what I'll do is I'll actually create a folder for each character. So this game that I just now recorded was with the pirate, so I'll just create a folder for him, and then I'll just create another folder within pirate called game 1, and I'll just Control V to paste all of those into there. So that way I can keep my files organized. Otherwise, you're going to record several games, you're going to have just tons and tons of files, and it's going to be hard for you to go in there and organize those. Now, once I'm ready to start working on a video, I also will want to go in there. Obviously, you're not going to use all of those files unless you're doing like a full game commentary or whatnot. If you want to do some type of montage style video, you're just going to go and find all those good clips. So basically what I'll do is let me find one I've already done this. So like on Karthus, I'll take that one game that I've done, and I'll go in there and I'll just go through and watch each clip, and I will find out which one has some type of useful footage in it. So basically, this one I've already done it, and I've deleted all the ones I don't use. So I'll go in and I'll basically kind of scroll through here until I find some footage that's good. And if I find myself killing someone, I'm like, okay, so I want to use this clip here, then I'll go ahead and rename it. And I like to name it in order of, like this is the first game, so I'll type 1 period, and then like it's the first clip of that game, 1 and then I'll name it something I can distinguish later. But anyways, that's just that's all irrelevant to you can do it however you want. That's just how I do it after doing this for a couple months. It's just the easiest way for me to organize my files quickly and efficiently. So once that is now done, basically you want to have Sony Vegas open. Let me show you how to go ahead and import your files. Basically, all I do is I'll just take these here. I'll go to where it says Project Media. You'll see these tabs right here, Project Media. And what you want to do is I'll actually create a new bin. So I'll right click where it says Media Bins, create new bin, and then I'll just do I'll just name this like Clips, because I'll have one folder for perhaps for like intros, because I'll have my own intros, and then I'll have a bin for like images. So sometimes I'll put images of the let's say the skills that you want to use and the runes and whatnot. Anyways, what I'll do is I'll actually take this folder here, select all these, and I'll just drag these right into the clips. So now it's organized into a clips bin. And then at that point you can use what's called a trimmer. Now you see this is actually not docked inside here, and that's because I use dual monitors. I usually have it off the screen. I just wanted to show you this is the video preview. And what you want to do is you want to take these clips, and this is the trimmer over here. This is what you call a trimmer. And you'll take one of the clips from the bin and you'll just move it over to your trimmer. You see, I'll just drag and drop it in there, and then I can go through here and find the part that I thought was good. And basically what you want to do is you just want to drag the area that you thought was good, and you see I have the little yellow selection markers, and you just drag that portion over onto the timeline, which is right over here. Okay, so now what I've done is I've imported my clips, I got the whole thing into the trimmer. I took just the part I wanted from that clip, and I drag it onto the timeline. And now you can sit here and you can drag this back and forth anywhere you want. You can take another clip, do the same thing, and I'm not really gonna spend a lot of time on that. Basically, now I've got 2 clips here that I've gotten. Let's say this is all the clips that I wanted, and I'm gonna go ahead and make a video out of this. There's a couple things you want to do when you're editing these clips. For instance, let's say I had recorded myself talking, and I don't want myself talking in this video. So I want to just take out all of the audio, and I just want the video because later I'm going to voice over it. What you want to know is how to ungroup because right now if I click on this audio portion here, it's grouped up with the video. And you'll see right now there's a layer for audio and a layer for video. So what I want to do to ungroup that is it's simple. You just push U for ungroup. You can also right click and do it, but basically I use hotkeys for everything, so I don't even know how to do it by right clicking. Basically you push U for ungroup, and now I can actually select the video part by itself. So now I'm just going to select the audio, delete that. I'm going to click this one, U for ungroup, delete the audio. So now I've just got the 2 clips of video, and now let's say I want to go ahead and fade from this clip into this one. All you have to do, it's very simple, is you just drag it into the next clip, and it automatically fades, as you can see. And I'll zoom in by scroll wheel. I'll scroll wheel, and it zooms in on the clip, and you can see that as you move it over the other clip, it'll actually crossfade it for you. And I actually do about 1 second crossfade for all my clips. So I make this very simple. And then if you push spacebar, it'll actually play that. It'll play that for you, and you can watch the crossfade happen. All right. So then I'll hit spacebar again to stop it from playing. Anyways, now that you've got your clips here put in a way you wanted, what you're going to want to do is probably create some type of title for your video and whatnot. So In order to do that, I'm actually going to go over here to the media generators. Make sure that you've got the you click on text right here. Now there's a lot of different media generators. Well, actually, there's a lot of stuff you can do in Vegas. I'm just going to show you the things that I use. So don't worry, don't get overwhelmed by the massive amount of things that you can do here. Let's just worry about the stuff that is going to give you a decent quality video for what you're trying to do. Anyhow, so click on text. I like to go ahead and use just the regular sample text right here. So I'm just going to take this and drag it right onto the timeline. And you'll see it'll already create kind of a certain size here. And just type in some text. So I'm going to type in my clever title right here. And you can change, the font size or whatever you want to do with that. You can change the placement, move it up here. Let me actually show you what it's going to look like. So I brought over the video preview. Oops. Oh, I just docked it. Okay. So if I move that around, you can see that it moves. You can change the properties, colors, and things like that. You can make it do like a shadow, which is already black, so I have to do like a different color for it to show up. There you go. So anyways, you can do all kinds of stuff with that. I'm going to move that out of the way. So I got a clever title now. And now I showed you how to ungroup things by pushing U. Now right now, if I want to move this clip out of the way, it's actually not grouped with the other clips, so I just messed that up. So I'm going to go ahead and group these two clips here. So I'm going to control click, and so I got them both selected. I'm going to push G for group, and now I can move them both just by clicking one. Anyhow, so I'm going to take this title right here. I'm going to go ahead and fade from the title into the clip. And let's go ahead and select all these. I'm going to group those. So now everything's grouped together. But let's say on one of these kills I want to do like some kind of slow down and zoom in effect. All right. So you're going to need to actually split up the clip where you have a kill. Let me find a part where I've got a kill. Okay, so I get a kill right here. Okay. So I'm going to hit enter to pause it at that point. So I'm going to go ahead and find out where I'm going to push the arrow keys to kind of go back and forth to the part where I want. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and start zooming in like right here. And in order to do that, I'm going to have to split my clip. So I'm going to hit S for split. And as you can see, I just split that clip. And let me zoom in a little bit. And then I just want to go ahead and play it towards the end of the part where I want to stop that. That's good right there. So I'm going to hit split again. And so now I've got this one portion of clip right here. And we're going to go ahead and zoom in on this part and probably slow it down a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and click Vent, Pan, and Crop. It's actually just this little button right here. If you zoom in, you'll be able to see it better. So I'm going to click that. And you see this little selection area right here. All you got to do is just take it and zoom in on the part you want. Now if you hold Shift while you drag it, it'll keep it in proportion. Actually, no, it doesn't. Hang on, there's a button over here. Lock aspect ratio. If you hold that, it'll do it for you. Anyways, that'll hold it in aspect ratio. So let's go ahead and just zoom in on this kill. Okay. Now, actually, let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and click on this bar right here and go back to default because I forgot. I'm going to click on this timeline right here, and I actually want it to zoom in slowly. So I'm going to go in a couple of frames. I'm going to drag this in, and I want it to zoom in right about there. So it's going to start at normal size, and then I want to zoom in at this point here. So I'm going to click that, and then I'm going to go ahead and drag the bar. It's going to zoom in right there, and then let's have it stay like that for a couple of frames, and then about right here we're going to zoom back out. Okay, so we're going to create a keyframe there and a keyframe here, and then we're going to just zoom back out. So I'm going to click on default again. Okay, now I can click the X right here and watch that clip again. And let me just bring over the video preview so you can watch it. I'm going to push spacebar to play that. And you can see it kind of zooms in. Anyways, not the greatest effect, but as you can tell, I'm just trying to show you some of the different things that I'll use. Now, let's say we wanted to slow that clip down. In order to do that, let's go ahead and move all these other clips out of the way. So I'm going to select all the other clips. Now I'm going to have to ungroup it because if I try to move these out of the way, it's obviously grouped with the other parts that I didn't clip. So, let's say I just screwed that up. I'm going to have to hit Control Z to undo. And first hit U to ungroup it. Okay, so now I can just move this portion here out of the way. And let's go ahead and take this clip, and I wanna make it longer. So I'm going to hold down Control and then I'm going to get to the edge of it and see how it has that little squiggly. When I push control, it shows a little squiggly, and then you can just drag that clip out just a little bit longer, and that's going to slow it down. I'm going to select these two clips here, and I'm going to put them back to where they go. And now you can see, let's bring over the video preview, it actually slows it down a little bit more. Now you can obviously speed things up with the same idea, control and then kind of drag it in towards itself. So that's another little effect that I used right there. All right, so now let's say we've got everything the way we want it, and we want to do some voiceover and some commentary for this clip. What you're going to want to do is, well, we've already got an audio clip here, but let's say we already had, let's say we didn't delete this audio and we wanted to leave that audio there. Let's right click on this deal here and let's do insert audio track. And so now we've got another audio track, okay? And in order to do voiceover, you just hit the little record button, and as long as you've got a microphone, you should be able to do this just fine. Just click on where you want to start doing your recording, hit the record button, and it's going to ask you where you want to start recording from. So I actually like to have all my voice recordings in a certain folder so that it doesn't get real messy. So let's do that real quick. Let's go to my voiceover folder, which is somewhere. Videos, Fraps, edited, voiceover. Okay, and just push OK and it'll start recording for you. So now you can just start talking. As you can see, I'm talking right now, and it is actually recording my voice, doing this voiceover while the video is playing, and you can actually just watch the video play and say, okay, blah, 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 here is me getting a kill, I'm so cool, ha, 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 I'm such a cool guy. Okay, and then just hit enter or spacebar or whatever when you want to stop, and then it'll ask you if you want to go ahead and save that. Let's say you screwed up, you don't want to save it, just hit delete, but if you like it, just hit done. And then you can just go in and listen to your clip and make sure it sounds good. And let's say you're ready to render now. Basically, in Vegas, you can render any portion that you want. So if I just wanted to render this part right here, where I selected, I can render that part. But I just want to take it, so I've got this extra space over here and this extra space over here, and maybe you had some extra clips that you're going to render some other videos. So that's what's really cool about Vegas. Basically, I'm just going to select right here and just drag it all the way to the end. And if you need to zoom out, you can just zoom out and select the part you need. Now let's talk about the render settings. You're going to want to make sure you have the correct render settings. So let's go ahead and go into those. I've got the region selected. So I'm going to go ahead and go to File, and then Render As. And I like to render all of my videos as an MP4 file. So make sure, so where it says Save as Type, you're going to want to select the file type that you want to render as. There's a lot of different ones. And I use Main Concept, AVC, AAC, MP4. And I've actually got my own template saved, which is 1080p. It's a custom template, so what you need to do is go to Custom, and you can create your own and then just save it so you don't have to do this every single time. But before you click on Custom, make sure you have Render Loop Region Only. And then I'm going to click Custom. And for my HD render settings, what I do is make sure that you have the 1920 by 1080. If you're going to render in 720p, make sure you do the 1028 by 720. Just depends on what your ratio is that you're going to use. Frame rate, I do 30. Pixel aspect ratio 1.0. Now BPS, this is going to be the quality of your video. Actually, this is very, very high. My file sizes are quite large once I render, but they do look very nice. If you've watched my videos, you'll know. I do 15 million for maximum, average at 12 million. So that works for me. You can play around with that if you like, but if you don't really know what the hell this means, just go ahead and, if you want super high quality, go ahead and just click 15 million and 12 million. For audio, I just go ahead and do 48,000 and then 128,000, and that should be fine. Video render quality best for the project. Anyways, just push OK, and then you can actually save this if you'd like as a custom template or whatever. But anyhow, I'm just going to go. You would just need to give it a name like my clip, and I'm not going to go ahead. I'm not going to save this because it'll start rendering it. Well, actually, let's go ahead and do it. I'm going to hit Save My Clip, and as you can see, it's going to take quite a while to render it unless you have a super fast CPU, which even then it'll probably take a while depending on your render setting quality and how long the clip is. It's not very long, so it's not going to take too long to render it. But anyways, I'm just going to hit cancel because I don't really care. But anyways, once it's done, you'll be able to play it, and that's it, really. But yeah, that's really it. I don't use a lot of the advanced stuff that you can do. You can do all kinds of crazy transitions. Like I can drag this little transition onto the crossfade that's already there, and it'll actually create a little flip over transition. And I don't. Hang on a sec. Let me pull this over. Okay, so as you can see, it actually does that transition for me. But anyways, I don't use a lot of that stuff. I just try and get my clips done as fast as possible. I don't try and rush it too much, but at the same time, I don't do a lot of this extra fancy stuff. You can definitely play around with that. I'm not going to go into all that. There's lots of videos out there on YouTube to teach you all this different cool stuff in Vegas, but you get the gist of how to record and how to do some basic editing. So, if you want to do some clips of your own, now you've got the knowledge. Check it out. And don't ask me too many questions because I don't really want to be customer support for this. If you can't figure it out, just go Google it. Sorry, not. Anyways, if you figure this out, definitely send me some cool clips of you playing some LOL. I'd like to put together some clips of maybe some highlight clips and whatnot. I'd definitely love to see some of that. Send me some links of some videos that you've made. I'd like to see those. And yeah, hopefully you guys get something out of this and stop asking me, 100 different comments on like, hey man, what do you use to record? How do you record your videos? Because here you go. I just spent some time doing some video for you. Hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you guys next time, man. Scolby Cheese. Take care.